I told myself I would never get on those again, and this is working. All right, so I came out on those things, all right? And then that happened, and then that happened, over and over, okay? It was just absolutely horrible. I had welts and scrapes and bruises all over my body, but I digress. So I proposed to my girlfriend as I crossed the finish line of the amazing race, exhausted from a month of sleep deprivation, and excited and exhilarated from conquering, well, mostly all the challenges thrown in our path. I was slightly buzzed from the 2 beers that I slammed with the last remaining yen because we didn't need it anymore. I saw beer and I said, what the hell? You know, in a real-life Hunger Games, the amazing race pushed us to the edge of sanity and back. We traveled to 4 continents, 11 countries, 24 cities, all in 28 days. So I ate Hungarian spicy soup in 20 minutes and paid for it for 2 days with the worst diarrhea you could imagine. Traveling, not fun. Exhausted, we slept on a nest of dead birds on a sidewalk in Budapest because our challenge wasn't open yet. So we're like, let's just pop up camp here and sleep. And when we woke up in the morning, yeah, we'd slept on dead birds. And we froze our ass off on a glacier because I forgot to blow up the air mattress in our tent. And we slept directly on the ice. Like 6 a.m., I wake up and I can't feel my feet. I'm like, what am I doing? Why are we so cold? Everybody's like, oh, it was fine. I was like, you didn't blow up the air mattress. I was like, ah. You know, I did a lot of cool things on the show. I mean, we scaled walls of ice. I rappelled down a 40-story bank building in Shanghai. One of the not so cool things, we had to beg for money for the first time in our life. And, you know, it's not exactly a bucket list item, but, you know, we did it with gusto and we got the money. In the last round, you know, with $1 million at stake, we lost. Came in 4th. But I realized as I was going down the gondola from on top of Mount Hua, I looked across at my girlfriend at the time, and I said, you know what? It's like, we did this together. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You know, we're crying, and I was like, I don't need anybody or anything, any amount of money, and I have you, and that's worth more than $1 million. And when I proposed, I mean, literally viewers just jaws dropped. I even had friends that had never met Hayden and family that had never met Hayden. They were like, "Are you serious? You really want to marry this woman? She's been yelling at you every episode, over and over." And I was like, "Listen, guys, this is reality TV. You know, this is what the producers and the network want you to see. I mean, no one wants to see some happy-go-lucky guy going around the world easy peasy. He needed to throw in the crazy girlfriend who would yell at him all the time. That makes for great TV, and that's what I've really learned, you know, with the reality shows that I've been on, is that it's this mirror, this mirage that you look out and you watch the show and you get to know this person. You think you know them, but there's all this behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, myself and a few of the contestants on the show were privy to my wife, who is wonderful, at least 75% of the time, as we're going around and you know, seeing these amazing, truly amazing countries, meeting these amazing people of all walks of life. And this is a thing that we got to experience and then relive over and over. I mean, it's on Hulu now, so you can go home and watch me falling constantly on those roller skis. You know, and as a former Division I athlete, I love competition. I get off on just pushing myself as hard and as far as I can go. And I was on this other show. It was Cutthroat Kitchen. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cutthroat Kitchen. It's based. There's 4 chefs, and we're competing against each other, and you're given $25,000. And the first time going into the show, I was like, 25 grand. I'm not spending a single dime. And then the sabotages started coming. One of them I had to cook with a blowtorch between my legs. I had to make a chili cheese dog. The next one was called Camp Cutthroat. So this time we're outside, all right, we're cooking over open flame, and one of my sabotages was I had to go find canned goods and shelf-stable materials out in trees. I mean, they were nailed to trees. I'm jumping up on boulders, rocks. I'm literally throwing everything at objects, trying to get them down out of these trees. And Alton Brown, cool human being. And when he comes and he starts to rib on you, oh man, it's a sight to behold, but I dished it back with him. So I'm proud of myself for that. The next show was Food Network star. And so Food Network star, I obtained the nickname The Meat Man. And it all stemmed from my love of knowing where your food comes from. And I grew up on a farm raising animals. But the network and the producers had their character that they needed to cast. So I was the meat guy who said nothing but meat, and I occasionally said bacon. Thank God I was only on for 2 episodes, and I was off. And I've learned that you just have to go into these situations and have fun. I mean, there's really nowhere to hide when you tell 2 very famous celebrity chefs to suck it. Sorry, Bobby. Sorry, Giada. But seriously, suck it. And when you have a breakfast meltdown, hashtag #WaFail, which, yes, I had my very own hashtag on Twitter, winning. And learning to accept spectacular public failure while laughing at yourself is the key to being on reality TV. So if you guys can do that, you guys can be on reality TV. I think the network sees, it's like, all right, Aaron, he bombed this first episode, but he was funny. And he had fun. He did it with gusto. Let's bring him back for another one. And it's just this ongoing cycle with me. It's like, hey, you want to do another show? Yes. And so, I've learned that there's more to life than, obviously winning and losing because, well, I haven't won a single one yet. So I'm going with that. But really, for me, it's about the experience and the relationships that I make on these shows. I mean, you're with these contestants that you're either trying for $1 million, trying to win $1 million, or $25,000, or have your own show on Food Network. But you get to know these people. You get to know their family and their life. And I think on the weekly, I still talk to a lot of the guys on the Food Network star, and we had a girl that was in our wedding on The Amazing Race. Every time that I travel to the cities that they're at, it's honestly, it's like we get together and it's like reliving the old days, and it's really amazing that a relationship can build that fast, but you're under so much pressure and sharing this really unique situation that not a whole lot of people get to deal with. And my parents always taught me, just to go make things happen, just go do it and go experience life, and to really better yourself and use your imagination. And that's really the one thing that I try to do with my 2 kids. So I've got 2 young kids right there, Cash and Kaya. Aw. I want them to see me, living life to the fullest, and having no regrets. It's the one thing that I can instill in them is that it's just to be real and give it their all, and not to judge a book by their cover, because, well, I'd be the meat guy and just eat, bacon. And I want them to try new things. That's the one thing with these shows. You're just thrown into a situation, and you're like, go. You're like, how can I make this work? What can I do? And it's just, you roll with it. And that's sort of how I sort of go through life, is just having fun. So thank you very much. And oh yeah, by the way, I will be giving roller ski lessons out in the parking lot during lunch. So if anybody wants to come out, I'm a wonderful teacher. Thank you guys.